one guardrail. We're gonna walk. First thing, we have a buried in back slope. It's got wood post, rectangle washer, and the block out there is askew. We have a major cut in the rail, very likely to spear in a impact here that's redirective because it's going to rupture. Block out that's askew, still very old, obsolete stuff here. We have again a cut in the rail, a block out that's just a little bit askew. Cracked post, that bolt right there, cracked, plus it's all rotten there. Let's keep going. I mean, we have the same issues again, another split in the post. That's a little askew. That's a lot of bit of askew. Again, the post is just falling apart. You can see down there. Let's keep going. Well, that's askew. This one's got all its bolts. Oh, we're missing a block out altogether, and termites are eating, having dinner. Oh, we'll take a look at this post. Askew, cracked, and those termites have had a feast. Askew, rotten, somewhat askew, cracked, very askew, rotten, missing altogether, rotten, askew, cracked, rotten, askew, rotten, askew, rotten. That one's not, that's rotten. That one, very rotten, cracked. Again, very rotten. That one's askew, that one's askew, that one's rotten. That one's cracked. That one's askew, that one's rotten. That's rotten. That's rotten. That one's rotten. That one's rotten. That one's askew. That one's missing a. There's this block out. Yep. Okay. That one's cracked. Askew. Cracked. Okay. That one's rotten. That one's rotten. That one's askew and rotten. Rotten. Askew and rotten. Again. Just cracked and it's rotten. That one's rotten. That one's askew and rotten. Slightly askew, rotten. Cause I haven't even hit a quarter of the guardrail. Rotten. Cracked. Rotten. Askew. Rotten. Cracked. Rotten. Askew. Rotten. Cracked. Askew. Rotten. Cracked. Askew. Rotten. Rotten. Oh, I stepped in some fire ants, folks. Rotten. Rotten. Slightly askew. Rotten. Rotten. Totally askew. Rotten. Cracked. Rotten. Cracked. Askew. Very rotten. Askew. Cracked. Very rotten. Rotten. Slightly askew, very rotten. Cracked, very rotten. Cracked, askew, cracked, rotten. Askew, cracked, rotten. Oh gosh, rotten, very rotten. Woo-wee. Take a look at that sucker, very rotten. Washout, cracked, askew, very rotten. Askew, cracked, very rotten. I put some black tape there because that one's askew, very rotten, total washout. Again, askew, very rotten, washout. Askew, very rotten, cracked, washout. Ditto, complete washout. Take a look at that. You can see my hand on the other side of that post. Askew. Oh wow, it goes all the way through, folks. It's got sunshine. Askew, rotten, correct. Take a look at that. All the way down through. and rotten. That one's rotten. Askew, cracked, rotten. Cracked, rotten, very rotten. Whew. Yep, those termites had a good dinner. That's slightly askew. More askew, cracked, rotten. Cracked, rotten. Cracked, rotten. Cracked, rotten. Cracked. Cracked. Oh, that's all rotten. Cracked and rotten. Askew, cracked and rotten. Askew, rotten. Cracked, rotten. Cracked, askew, and askew, askew, cracked, rotten. Very askew. Put a piece of tape on there. I ran out of tape. Askew, cracked, rotten. Take a look at that. Termite, all you can eat buffet. Cracked, askew. Woohoo! Wow. Oh, 625. I make shorts, but this is one guardrail. State Route 360, and it's one guardrail. Cracked, askew, rotten, askew, rotten, cracked, askew, rotten, cracked, rotten, askew. Oh, take a look at this, folks. 1, 2, 3. Missing bolt. 3 loose ones. 4 loose ones, 4 missing. And ravine that's about 50 foot. Post is rotten. That's askew. That's not even. Post is cracked. That one's cracked and rotten. Cracked and rotten. Missing a big chunk of it. Rotten. Askew. Loose bolt. 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 Hey, again, now, hey, our ravine is now about 60 foot deep. And we got an askew. Block out. Rotten post. Cracked post, rotten. Cracked post, rotten. Askew. Block out. Rotten post. Rotten post. That's cracked too. That's askew. That's cracked. That's rotten. Tree fell on there. Compromises it. Cracked. Let's check those bolts. There's been a bunch right there. All right, that one's askew. That one's askew. That one's askew. Ditto. Rotten. Ditto. Ditto. Another one. Another one. Let's take a look at that crack. All the way down through. Completely rotten. Another one. Another one. Again, cracked. Another one. Cracked. Another one. Cracked. Missing a bolt. Loose. Missing a bolt. Loose. Loose. Missing a bolt. Our ravine is now only about 50 foot. So, anyways, that's cracked. Rotten. Askew, cracked, rotten. Askew, cracked, and rotten. Askew, rotten. Askew, rotten. Askew, rotten. Askew. Oh, take a look at that crack all the way through. All the way through. Askew, cracked, rotten. Askew, take a look. There's your crack all the way to the bottom, and it's rotten over there in the corner. Same thing again. Same thing again. Pretty rotten down there on the bottom. Those bolts look tight. You get same thing. Take a look. all the way down, rotten. If you don't want my opinion, I don't really care. Every wood post in the state of Tennessee, save for those in the SCAT, need to come out. They're over 30 years old. They're all rotten. Every single one of them. Every single time I make a video like this, the posts are rotten. And that one's cracked. Damage to the rail. Same thing. And NCHRP 656, is it? 636? I don't know. But that one's bad. Again, it says do not mix steel and wood post because it creates a rupture point. And here we have steel and wood post mixed. We've seen it happen. And both of these were actually near Fresno, California. The rail ruptured in one. The person went over like 250-foot cliff and was killed. The other one, it speared the passenger compartment, critically wounding. Another one that's completely fractured. Let's take a look at those bolts. But because, and that one's rotten, we do not treat Guardrail with any kind of sobriety. We treat those that have the audacity to point this kind of stuff out with contempt. We make up lies and innuendo, suggesting that somehow, folks, I did not cause any of this. I didn't. Videoing it and telling the world about it, that's free speech. I love free speech. I read what the criteria for the restoration of longitudinal barrier says, and it says don't mix these kind of posts together. I'm not an expert, but I can read, and that's the underlying problem. Is I can read, and you shouldn't do that. There's some damage there. Again, more damage. We have a cracked block out. Let's keep walking. This is one guardrail, folks. There's dozens along this route in very similar condition. It's cracked. Again, wood post and steel post mixed, known lethal hazard. Askew, that's cracked. Take a look. The post is cracked all the way down and it's rotten. Exact same thing. It's cracked all the way down, rotten. And again, you can see the crack. But we don't do walking inspections. And so we have some really great tools coming out with AI that will let us fix this stuff, or detect this stuff. But if we don't fix it, and if we don't train our folks to fix it right, that one's cracked, askew, cracked, askew, cracked, rotten, askew, cracked. And we're talking close to probably 300 or 400 posts here. Cracked. That's slightly askew. Cracked. Or askew, cracked, rotten. Missing. Cracked. Clearly rotten. Askew. I'll take a look at that from this side. Again. And again. And then we get into what's called an SGRS4 panel. We have no fidelity. Absolutely no fidelity to our design drawings. When we switch from a 31 to 27 and 5/8 inch guardrail, the old NCHRP 350, which this is not NCHRP 350 rail, this is 230 era rail. It's a little scary because I would have been dead right here. You're to use what's called an SGRS4 panel. So here's our panel. They tell us exactly how this should look. You cannot mix wood and polymer blockouts. You cannot mix wood and steel post. And this, you cannot have this here. There's no fidelity to the design drawings. And here we come over here. We have our MGS splices, but we have a field drilled hole into a post that this is not going to release. And I have tied this to multiple spearing crashes and fatalities, including the state of Tennessee. And I point out, it says use a punched hole, not a drilled hole, punched hole. Punched and drilled do not mean the same things. It doesn't. Go look at what University of Nebraska Midwest Research Safety Facility has said. And you will see, I am not that smart when it comes to designing guardrails. I am not an engineer, but I can read their design testing and guidance and specifications. I can do the same thing at Texas A&M. And that doesn't make me an expert. It means I can read, and so can you. You have a better education than I have. You have better funding than I have. All of this stuff. You are better equipped to address this than me. But me pointing it out does not make me some kind of domestic terrorist. It doesn't mean that I am a racist or a sexist. It doesn't mean that I am a MAGA or a liberal. It means I can see. Personal attacks, ad hominem attacks, innuendos, and lies will not fix this problem. You have billion-dollar budgets. Billion-dollar budgets. I am not the baddie to point out, like this post right here. Somebody clearly installed a damaged post. They clearly pounded on it. I can see it. And so can you. You can see the damage caused by them not installing this according to the manufacturer's specifications. You can see the cable here. It's not tight at all. Not at all. And the bearing plate, it is askew and it is missing. It's missing the bolt. Doesn't look like it's even been put on. Folks, there's an inspection sticker here. When there is no fidelity to doing it right, this is what we got. And me pointing out, and this is clearly, folks, that's been reused. I can see the striations. You can see the striations. You see that? That has been reused. There's hardly any damage. That explains the damage back there to that post. It explains that striation. That's clear. This is a reused unit. I mean, it's not allowed in the state of Tennessee. Is it wrong for me to point that out? Does that... Unreal. You can see where there was damage to this area here. And I cleaned it up. Unreal. That's that guardrail. US 360. I'm in Van Noor, Tennessee. We got to get better every day. And this is not good.